facilitator. My journey with Talk to the Entity started long back. For me, it was more of fear. I was really, really scared of entity. I think it's like I'm a very courageous woman, but when it came about spirit entity, I'm ready to do anything if somebody can save me from them. That level of fear, paranoia I had. Like I grew up hearing a lot of ghost stories and how in each story you are possessed. So my deepest fear was that I'll get possessed. And then came Talk to the Entity class. My biggest takeaway with my first Talk to the Entity class was I don't know where the fear disappeared. Like knowing myself, like if I have to walk all alone in the night in a deserted place, I will run, I will hide. I used to wake up and ask somebody to, can you please come with me? I was that scared. And it just changed just in 2.5 days. I was like, is it really real? Is it really true? Like the fear that I have for so many years, donkey years, it just vanished overnight with just simple tools and clearings. I was amazed. But how did I know it changed? Was like I remember walking back and suddenly, energetically, I like felt a tap on my shoulder and I turned around, there was no one. The old me before the tools, before this class, I think I would have just shit in my pants or fainted, to be very honest, and I'm not exaggerating. And it was very interesting. I said, who is this? And I just ran a tool and I was surprised by myself that there was no panic, there's no anxiety. And I could just breathe in that moment and just cleared it, whatever it was. So that was initial, like my, then I realized, oh my God, I no longer have that fear of that unknown space or the so-called ghost, people spirit. All my fears just vanished. And very interestingly, like after this, like I dwelled more, and it's like the more I was open to receiving, collaborating, communicating with the spirit world, it's very interesting. On and off, they are trickster, prankster, jokester kind of entities who like to get your attention, who like to play. They will keep hiding. I remember I walked into a store and I was looking at something, and suddenly my phone was not there. I came out, I went back to the store, they looked around everywhere. And the first ping of awareness, like trickster prankster, I said, hey, trickster prankster, I want my phone back. And again, we go back, and they're like, oh, the phone was just here, we could not see it. So it's like these tools, I think for me, made life so easy, where lot of fear got released, and then you start playing with them, you start receiving the contribution with them. uh, it's like they are very contributive because they really want to contribute to you, but it's like a fear. Like for me, my biggest block was my fear that I will not allow any contribution, because my point of view or my belief was that if I allow them in my space, I will be possessed. Because I had seen that in movie, I've heard stories about people being possessed, and actually I'd witnessed people who were possessed while I was growing up. They were literally beaten up, or they were taken to the temple where they were beaten up. So I didn't want it to go through any of this experience. So for me it was like, okay, something that I can't see is more powerful. So I had actually made them more powerful, and instead of just taking them for what they are. So that was so deep rooted for me, and that was the biggest relief, where I can actually sleep somewhere all alone. I can be in a room without the need of having somebody in the room. If I wake up late in the night, I can actually watch horror movie without getting scared that how will I go to the washroom in the night. And it was very interesting, and I grew up with a lot of allergies. I thought I had allergies, but later on I found out those was entity awareness. So whenever I sense them around my space, I'll start this bout of coughing that doesn't get controlled. I'll have itchy nose, I'll have runny nose. These are all signs that they are trying to communicate with me, and they give signal they are there. And once I address it, just disappear. And when I was growing up, I actually took a lot of anti-allergy, thinking that I have allergies. No, it was not really an allergy. It was basically a different energy trying to engage with me, trying to tap to me or speak to me or just around me. Just my body was picking it up and it was reacting in certain times. And the moment it all just cleared up. And there was so much of space of freedom. And it's very interestingly, because if somebody would have asked me about entities maybe 10 years back or maybe 12 years back, I would say, are you crazy? And I am amazed with myself. It's like, oh wow, these tools just didn't allowed my awareness, but it allowed me to have that level of power within me that I'm no longer scared of the unknown, something that I can't see. I can only perceive because I'm a very kinesthetic kind of a person. I touch, feel things. I'm not a visual. I don't see. And it's just that it's that little muscle, is that tool that you have, even if you encounter. It's like the fear just collapsed. I can go on and on, because for me the fear was very, very high and very, very deep rooted. Like, I am a very courageous woman. If you ask me to jump from 10th floor, I will not think twice. I will just jump. But if you ask me to go to a graveyard, or if you ask me like 2 o'clock after watching a horror movie, go sleep in your room alone, or go to the washroom if it's little outside of, I can't. I will do anything for you just to have that company, because somewhere I believe if there are two people, then the entity will not attack me or possess me. But it's just the lie, the myth that we grew up watching in the movie, where everything was a little exaggerated. There is. So that level of freedom is amazing. It's like I feel what a relief. And now it's very interesting, that area where I didn't want it to go. Now everything that I do is kind of related to that area. And with a simple tool, and it's such a beautiful simple tool that you can clear, because there are so many beautiful entities, even your loved ones, who are just lost, stuck in time and space. And when you clear them, and the moment you let go of your fear, who they're the people who passed away, your loved ones, when they want to communicate with you, you can receive with them, because it's just one belief of entities just keeping them at bay. It's like, if you know that somebody is trying to reach to you and communicate, and the moment you just acknowledge that you are the most powerful person, if you don't allow anybody, nobody can possess you, and you lower your barriers, just say barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. And you can ask, if you get the sense that your loved ones are coming, ask them to come close to you, and then ask, what space can I be? What vibration can I be that will allow me to communicate with this entity with ease? Because a lot of time they don't have the same communication style that we have. You may get a word, you may get a picture, you may get a sensation. So get present to what you're getting, because their style, like how it's very simple. Like two friends, we are sitting and chatting. We have a very different communication style, but because we can see it, we kind of relate to it, and we are okay with the way they are talking. Sometimes they're very fast, sometimes they're very slow, sometimes they're just too silent. They just are there for you. It's the same with the spirit world. People who want to communicate with you, they may not have the same way of talking, but if you just get present and without panicking, without the level of fear, if you can allow them to enter your space and relax by lowering your barrier and asking yourself, what energy can I be? What vibration can I be? What space can I be which will allow this communication to go with ease? You'll be surprised. You will not require a middleman to take messages from your loved ones. You can do it all by yourself. And on a very funny note, I have asked a lot of times also. It's quite interesting because they are there to contribute too. So a lot of I had asked. I remember when I initially did, and I wanted to test whether it works or it doesn't work, I said, okay, all those entities who can financially contribute to me, I'm asking for your contribution. I would like you to shower some gifts. And it was very interesting. It's like I was walking in a park, and all of a sudden, like you will find it very funny, like money, 500 notes started flying and coming to me. And I was like, okay. I kept picking it up, thinking that maybe somewhere around it might be their money or something. I took the round of that compound three, four times, holding those few notes in my hand, thinking that somebody must have lost it. But there was nobody there. Nobody was there looking for their money. Nobody was there. I was holding that money, looking at anybody. And out of nowhere, the money just flew. So it's very interesting. Like they do very interesting stuff. The question is, are you willing to receive? And how much distance we have kept from the spirit world because of the fear, because of our deep rooted beliefs or conditioning, or the lies that has been fed. Like the lies was like, okay, if you talk to them, they will possess. That was a story I grew up. Like you'll be possessed, and then you have no life of yours, you will have no control of yours. But the biggest lie that was spoken, unspoken, was that you'll be powerless and they are more powerful. But that's a lie. You're the most powerful. You're the source of your reality. The moment you own it, nobody can scare you. So I like don't be scared, be scary. So I like that. I'm like, okay, you're going to scare me. I'm going to scare the hell out of you. So for me, I think it just communicating with the entity has changed my communication style with people who are living. It just it improves your my sense of awareness has expanded after the class. It's amazing. Why? Because when you let go the fear of something that you can't define, something that you can't get with your five senses and beyond your five senses, it helps you to expand your awareness. And it's amazing. Like it has been so contributive in the sense my allergies have gone down, where I know that somebody's trying to do communicate with me because of my fear. I think my ability to tap into my knowing, my awareness, and expand and play with the spirit world has increased. And they have been contributing to me. Like they are trickster pranksters who come and joke around a lot of time. But instead of getting scared or something, it's fun because that's a kind of energy I like. I'm to a prankster, so I attract a lot of prankster entities around me. And it's been nice where I feel that I have more choices available where I could not do certain things because I was scared. And I actually am not fearful anymore. Where I can travel alone, I can travel in the night, I can go to the remotest place and not be scared. Where because of the tools, a simple tool of clearing truth, who are you, truth, who were you before that, truth 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 will be in the future. Truth, what's your job before that, your job before that, your job in the future. What are you all? Truth, what were you all before that? Truth, what were you all before that? Truth, what will you in the future? It helps all those entities that are stuck in time, space, dimension, and who doesn't even know that they're stuck. It helps them to get present and just move on. So it just changes the whole thing around. So when for me it made me the realization that I have a power to actually shift and change their reality. So I'm not scared. So this was my take. This is there's so many more stories. I can go on and on, but just for a brief period, if you're really fearful, play with this tool. Be scary. Don't be scared. See ya. Bye.